Coach. There are a couple of guys who've come in from outside, into the group this year, like Quibus and France and those sort of guys. How have they fitted in, and how are you feeling about the camp that you've had up to now?
Yeah, you know what? It's good to have those guys joining our squad. As you know, that those are players on form playing overseas. If you look at a guy like Marcel, who's been unlucky and with injuries in the past, and now it's good to see him back in action where he's fully fit. Really did well for his team. Kobus, his name will pop in, weekend out, whenever he's performing for his side. So once again, if you also look at locally, the guys like Herschel Jantjies, a guy who's been on form the whole season for the Stormers. So it's good also as us as coaches to not just talk the talk, to make sure that we reward the players that are on form. So it's good to have those guys in the team, and we're excited and looking forward to give them an opportunity when the chance comes.
A guy like France Steyn, where does he fit into the picture with regards to position and that sort of thing, and where's he been training?
I think the same question you're asking now, it's probably been asked in year 2007, because he's just a special rugby player. He's a utility back. He can fit in at fly-off, he can fit in at centre, he can cover fullback. He's just a natural footballer. So it's good to also have him, more especially now if you look at the time where we are now. He's got a 12-year experience compared to where he was in 2007, and he's still looking good, and he still look like a 21-year-old. He's looking fresh. We really happy to have him as a coach, more especially from my side as a backline coach. He brings a lot of experience in our backline, and for him it took him like less than a week to fit into our squad, and we are really happy also to have him.
Coach, just on a guy like Herschel Jantjies, who just emerged actually from nowhere. He was still being loaned out to the Ospreys for a few weeks in the Pro 14, and then just suddenly got his Stormer place and just impressed so sufficiently that he's made it into the national camp. Just what have your impressions been of him, and what makes him such a special scrum off at such a young age?
From my side, to be honest, first things first is it really shows that sometimes life is all about opportunities. The boy was given an opportunity by the Stormers. He grabbed it with both hands this season. I remember watching him last year when he played for the Stormers, the last couple of games in Super Rugby where they were not in the competition for the playoffs. So they gave him an opportunity. The boy did very well. I remember following his game since last year. And if you look at the way he's been in this season, he's been consistent with his performance. There's one thing about him, if you look at his game, is that he's got a clinical basics service as a scrum half. He's got a good pass. When the opportunity comes for him, he will snipe around the racks and he'll score brilliant tries. And once again, just to look at his size and see the amount of big tackles that he makes on the big forwards, so it really shows that it's someone who's in the right space. That's number one, and number two, who's got really a potential to become one of the great scrum halves in our country. So I'm glad he is part of our squad, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity.
Brendan?
Mzwandile, just without the Wallabies, this year without Israel Folau, in preparing for them, how much does that change?
Have they announced their team?
Huh?
Have they announced their team?
Well, he's not.
Oh, so he's not in squad. Sorry.
Doesn't have a contract.
No, I'm joking with you.
But how much does that change? Obviously, the way you guys prepare for the Wallabies, because he was always one of the massive threats that they had.
Yeah, Brendan. First things first. Yeah, a game between the Springboks and the Wallabies is always a big test match. More especially in the championship, if you look at the history of the game between the two teams, so it's always going to be a tough game. So once again, I know it's probably sad not to have Folau because he was also a special player in their side. So, but once again, we're not going to underestimate whoever is going to take over from that role. And I've seen James O'Connor is eligible to play for their side, so one of the experienced players. And also looking at the options they've got around that position, that I think they've got great players in that position that can really cover that space. And once again, it's always going to be a big challenge to play against the Wallabies.
Coach, has it been a bit of a challenge to work with two groups for the first two test matches, or is it still being treated as one entire squad?
You know what, sometimes with my previous experience as a coach, sometimes coaches, they complain about we don't have enough numbers on training fields when it comes to the sessions. And we look at the space where we are currently as our squad. We had every time on the training sessions, we've got two full teams that we can really have a full go at one another. So it was also nice to have the boys at the early, even though it's not good to see our franchise not playing the semi-finals or the finals in the Super Rugby, but it was nice for us as coaches to have those guys for 3 weeks before we even go to the test week. That's more like a pre-season for us as coaches. So once again, yes, I think we had a great plan in place, and with the coaching staff and the management around, we have really done well to make sure that we manage that squad. So once again, it's good to have all the options that you're looking at as a coach. And also, like I always say, I believe life is all about opportunities. Those guys who deserve to be in the Springbok squad currently, I think all the names are there.
Should it happen that for the first time in Springbok history you'll have two guys with the surname Yankees as a halfback pairing, what do you feel they could bring to Saturday's test should they be selected?
Once again, if you talk about combinations, it's something new for them. But if you look at the style of plays both players are playing, I think they will complement one another. Like I said earlier on, Herschel Jantjies has got a good service. He's got a clinical service. And we know on a good day, Elton Jantjies can really destroy teams when he's getting a front football. So that is something that I feel like if the Lighties will get the balance between their strengths, I think they if they get an opportunity this week, they should be able to give us a solid game. And once again, Elton is one of the experienced guys in our squad. So if we play him or we play Franz Steyn, I think both of those players, they've got what it takes to deliver on a day, and also make sure that they support the youngster also inside them.
And have you guys discussed, with the group that will be going to New Zealand, the guys that stay behind, if there's overseas guys, will they be going back to their overseas clubs, and the local guys, will they be used in the Currie Cup matches maybe? Have you guys discussed that at all?
Yeah, without giving too much away, but I think we've got a solid plan in place. All the players will be practically active on the training sessions, even if they're not going to be part of the match 23 that's playing this week. But yeah, once again, Russell will announce the squad tomorrow. But once again, we've got a solid plan, and the guys that are locally, that are in our squad currently now. For example, if I mention a guy like Siya Kolisi, who's doing rehab with us now as our captain, and chances, Russell mentioned it earlier on, that he might be sent to Stormers to get maybe game time there before he comes and join us again for the test match. So I think for those players who need some more game time, and you saw also Lord Diaga last weekend where he was given an opportunity to go and play for the Bulls, and he actually did very well, and it was nice to see him going for like more than 50 minutes in that game, and chances now I think he's ready to play test match at the moment.
Mzwandile, you mentioned some of the youngsters in that, but I know you're not the head coach, but how difficult would it be to pick a first choice team or a full strength team out of these 40 guys?
One thing that's great about the group that we've got now, there's a lot of competition amongst the players. Even if you look at last year, where Coach Rassi kept on changing and giving other guys opportunities. If you remember last year, we had guys like Damien Willemse, who's injured now. He was given an opportunity in front of probably almost 90,000 people at Twickenham, and the boy really did well for someone at his age. So once again, it's good to have competition amongst our squad, and also to have the balance between the informed players and the experienced players with the youngsters coming in. So I think we are in a good space at the moment. So the key thing is that us as a coaching staff to make sure that we select the good combinations.
Just a word on Apiwe Dianti, losing him in the back three combination, how that's going to change?
It's not nice to lose someone with like Apiwe, who's got a great X factor in our game, and we saw him last year. He really had a good season as one of the youngsters in our squad, if you look at last year. So it's not nice to lose someone like him, but once again, we trust all the players we've got in our squad. We've got a lot of, I think at the moment in South Africa, we've got a lot of talent in the outside, with our outside backs. If you look at a guy like Cheslin Colby, who was also doing very, very well in the top 14 in France, and looking at Spoonkosi also, last year he was unlucky with injuries, where he couldn't go full season with us. So to have him also fully fit. And then if you look at a guy like Mzwandile Mapimpi, he's been one of the best outside backs in our country, one of the best finishers currently in our country. So once again, I think it's sad to lose Apiwe, but I think we are in a good space when it comes to the outside backs.
Okay, let's switch to Kola.
Kasipinde nje ngokwenzakala Apiwe phela.
Akomandi kakhulu tata xa uluza umdlali ofana njengo-Apiwe. Siyamazi kaloku uba ngumfana one-X factor kakhulu, one-speed, and sibonile into azenzileyo last year kulo nyaka besuka kuyo, wafumana ne-trophy as ilento best newcomer of the year last year ki-World Rugby. So it's not akomandi uluze player like yena, but I think kule ndawo sikuyo eMzantsi Afrika sikindawo enhle kakhulu when it comes to outside backs because of bakhona abafana noko nabo abaperformayo currently abadlaleka iSuper Rugby kahle, bafana noMzwandile Mapimpi, simbonile uCheslin Kolbe France naye ba ki top 14, mfana one Santya, he's got an X factor, someone who can create something from nowhere. So, and also to mention, it's good to have mfana njengo Sibunkosi back in full fitness. He's been really training hard for us edlala kakuhle ki training sessions. So yes, kubhlungu kuluzwa Apiwe, but kodwa ke sisendaweni enhle tata sinabo abadlali abanokwazi ulivalela thuba.
Awuphele nje ukugqibela ubaluleka kwalomdlalo womgqibelo. Umqeqeshi umane ethetha ukuba yafunda letumente kufanele iwiniwe kodwa egqibeleli kukhona indebe ehlabathi ke elapha ngonyaka enisayijongileyo nayo. So nje kathi nje kubaleka uqala kahle ngempela.
Ndiyawuthanda lo mbuzo ubuza tata because of ndifuna abantu eMzantsi Afrika ba-understande ba lo mdlalo is between Australia and South Africa. So umdlalo ubalulekile kakhulu, more especially it's the first game of the season in 2019 and also kumdlalo wokuqala ki championship. So kubalekile thina as Springboks siqale kahle lo mdlalo and have a good start for us to be in the position sizokwazi win i-championship. And njengoba usothethile wathi ba it's a tough season for us kukhona World Cup. So into ebalulekileyo ukuthi funeka sithi make sure that noko abadlali bethu siba manager kahle, sibapha ne-opportunities. So into ebalulekileyo ngoku ifocus yethu ilapha ke-Australia, sifuna ukuthi make sure basiqala kahle futhi.
Njengoba ukugqibela amalungiselelo ahamba njani nale group ninayo, i-injuries zinibetha kangakanani ezisene nazo with the idea ye-World Cup nale 2 months yale preparation?
I think that besides injury ka Apiwe Jantyo ayifumene apha kude campaign, I think ezinye players I think zimeka kuhle kahle, more especially i-fitness yabo, and nomfana njengosiya Kolisi ucaptain wethu noko i-rehab yakhe ihamba kahle ngoku, kudala noko ebaleka ngoku ebaleni, even though ebaleka not between the 4 lines, ebaleka outside the 4 lines, but uyapromisa naye. So I think we are sisendaweni enhle kakhulu ngoba i-players zethu besuka injury or Eben ba-cleared babangadlala. So if Rasi gives them an opportunity kule weekend angakwazi udlala, and also mfana njengo-Jesse where he missed about 4 to 5 weeks ngoba edlala ki-Super Rugby ki-Bulls, and you played last 2 games just for the Bulls. You played the quarterfinal game, and also having OJC in that first 3 weeks of conditioning camp, it was also good to see him. But once again, when it comes to fitness levels, it's never been a problem to OJC. I think he's one of the best and the fittest players in South Africa currently, so we're not worried about them. So it's good to have him back, and also guys like Eben or Peter stepped to it. So we are in a good space besides losing Apiwe for the past for the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much. That concludes